Hey, I'm Kev, Mr. Con. Welcome back to V-Rally 4 for the final time, as we've played it a bit more and we've finally got a World Championship, which surprisingly is still level 4. I thought it'd be like level 5, I thought that'd be the top level. It would make sense, 1 to 5, but instead we've got the World Championship around Niger, the Air Force Base, Detroit and Cape Town. I thought it was pretty fitting that we started off with our first championship being the Extreme Kana, so it's fitting that our first World Championship is the Extreme Kana as well, and I thought it'd be a good time to end the series too. We've missed a couple of weeks with it now, but I thought in this episode, as we do with the final episode all the time, we go back to the game and we kind of have our thoughts about how good V-Rally 4 is. So let's get going then. In the World Championship, we are sure we want to enter this, as we have got a choice of 5 cars as well. So we've got the Honda CR-Z, the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 10, the Ford Mustang Fastback. Actually only got 4 cars. Then we've got the Ford GT, which as you can see we've upgraded a couple of cars. So we've got a choice between the Ford GT and the Lancer Evo 10 in the end, really. Should we go with the Lancer? That was our first car, was it? No, it's the Honda CR-Z, wasn't it? I tend to go with the Lancer though. Or we could go with the Fords. The Ford GT, sure that is overkill. Let's go with... I do love the handling of the Lancer Evo 10. Not the biggest fan of the Ford, even though it can brake on a dime. The Ford Mustang's kind of in between those two. Let's end with the Ford GT. I mean, look at it. There it is. We're at 100% level as well. As we're getting going in Africa. So here we go then, 4:31.2 to beat. Got 3 laps to do it. Let's see if we can even drive this thing round it. As it's just difficult to go around this place. Difficult to drive this forward too. And it seems to be doing very well at the moment, as we also got to try and sum up this game while doing these 4 events. And first up is just... overall, what do we think about V-Rally 4 as we try and navigate in this area? God, this is so tough. One of these days I'm going to be smart enough to post-com this last episode, but I'm still not smart, so... what do we think of V-Rally 4 overall? It's alright. It's the best out of these type of games that have come out recently, such as Dirt 4, such as Gravel. It's definitely the best out of those 3. Is it as good as previous V-Rallys? I haven't really played much V-Rally. The only previous V-Rally I played was on the Game Boy Advance, which I loved, but it's not exactly comparable to this game, which is a fully fledged, you know, modern console title. That was a Game Boy Advance port of the older titles. There's no doubt we're down 7.5 down. This guy's bouncing all over the place. And we're losing the rear. And we're not changing the right gears, it sounds like, as well. Always in too short a gear. There we go, actually accelerate for once. Got to be aggressive this thing actually in a couple of corners. So V-Rally 4, that's too aggressive. It's alright, is it as good as previous Kylotonn titles? well, most of their output, apart from WRC7, I would say. But the WRC games that they did previously before this just got better as they went along. WRC5 was not very good. WRC6 was average. But WRC7, I really quite enjoyed. It was a good challenge. They did a superb job with that game. With what I think they intended to do, which is this kind of halfway sim house experience. Now, the driving physics, perhaps not simulator, but they had expertly designed stages, or the most part of very good designed stages, and quite a challenging experience. Quite a rewarding driving experience, at least on the gamepad, if you had a wheel. Sorry for you, as this has gone well. Get going, get in first. Come on. Oh, I can't drive this thing round there. It's just too low down for here. It's not like, say, the Evo, which has some ground clearance. This has got nothing. So I can't actually drive this car around here, really. So I'm 100% top form, which I'm definitely not. So this game is in place of the next WRC go. I'm not sure what's happened to the WRC license. It seems to be in this kind of mystery portal, this mystery realm, which no one knows where it is. Who's got it? I mean, it makes perfect sense for Codemasters to get the WRC license, pair it up with World Rallycross. Have a heck of an off-road game. I'm not sure how much World Rallycross would be open to that idea. Because those two have been kind of battling each other in recent years. For drivers and fans and popularity. And at the moment, it seems like World Rallycross had its little blip and a little rise. Now it's got a blip with all of its manufacturers leaving, quite a few of its drivers leaving as well. That was an abysmal effort. Bloody hell. How am I meant to match 4:31 anyway? As with 20 cents behind anyone else. And we get 3 points. We've got some work to do on the remaining 3 events, as we've got quite a lot of repairs to do. Almost $1,000 of them. So we are now at the airbase, normally our favourite, as we've got a beat at 4:12.9. Which actually might be difficult. Normally airbases are a very good event. Well, it's going to be very close, I reckon, to that 4:12. Oh, it's like that perfectly still into that corner. So free rally 4, all right, slightly better than WRC6, and that's mainly because of optimization, not much stuttering. There's occasionally when you go through water splashes, saying Kenya, probably it goes down a bit, but apart from that, I haven't really noticed any performance issues. I know what I felt with WRC6, but it's not as good as WRC7. It does very much feel like a kind of placeholder to a game for that. With just the V-Rally name slapped on top of it. Like it seems like Big Ben are doing with, I think, Test Drive Unlimited as well, or Test Drive name. Because they got the license for that. And there are rumours that Kylotonn are maybe going to be developing the game for Big Ben. With a Test Drive name. which considering how love test drive is, would be pretty cool. So that's probably the main reason why this game feels like a step back. No, so as we move on to actually the game, the physics, a bit dumbed down in WRC7, but then you've got a wide variety of vehicles. But then the physics never really gel with a couple of vehicles, it feels like. Like this Porsche's just, this Ferrari, no, this Ford, should I say. Then we got there eventually. Feels like a supercar. It's not a supercar, it's a modern muscle car, really. Or sports car, shall we say. But considering how Ford feels in other games, it just doesn't feel anything like that. And that's the problem you have with quite a few of the bits, it feels like. In this game, I know it's more arcadey than, say, WRC7. It's less focused on just a couple classes of the same type of vehicle than WRC7, but if it's not quite gel, it just feels, oh, this car slides slightly more. That's about it. Oh, this Ford probably slides slightly more than the Mitsubishi. That's about the only difference, really. Everything else feels the same. Again, I'm playing with a controller on the Xbox One. Maybe it feels a bit different on a wheel. At least that's what I could say about the physics. It's just quite similar, shall we say. Like, Ryan's a bit better, but it actually feels like there is quite a lot of difference between the older cars and the newer. But you probably expect that, wouldn't you? And the buggies, you have a major difference between top cars and then the slower cars. So we smashed it by 20 seconds this time. So yeah, it just really depends on cars. Hill climb cars actually feel quite different. They actually do one class apart from rallies, which actually feel kind of different. In V-Rally Cross as well, maybe they're kind of halfway between the two. So we're up to 7th. We're 7 points back now. Already over half that deficit. As once more, we got some repairs, much less repairs though. Only $84 to replace the brakes, tyres, suspension and bodywork. We'll take that. So here we go, in Detroit, 4:32.8 to beat. This could be close. As we talked a bit about the physics, how about free rally mode and the events? And the choice of cars, choice of events we've got. I have to say I quite like the Extreme Karna variety, you know, with Niger being just way out there. Then you have this kind of tight street feel with Detroit, with Cape Town round the docks, the Air Force Base being quite wide open. Like, you've got good variety in Extreme Karna. I like the hill climb as well, I just wish there was more. Like, again, you've got 3 very different kind of tracks. You've got the very fast kind of normal hill climb with Mount Rainier. Then you've got trying to be just tight and actually quite surprisingly quick on occasion. And then you've got Romania, those beautiful mountain roads. As always, we're lucky not to hit. Rather than you get some time penalties. So it should just be up. Yes, 3 seconds. And then you have the rally-in. That's pretty nice with Russia being the snow rally. As I said, I wish Canada was actually a location we go to instead of just being a test track. Kind of feels wasted just being a test track. Because you can do everything there. Got rallying, got extreme corner. Hill climb by default as well because you got no co-driver. Free rally cross. Well, you can do everything there. It's just a shame it wasn't like full venue, full location. Canada, it could have complemented Russia. It could have complemented quite a lot of locations nicely. Russia's pretty nice with the buggies as well. But some of those layouts are just fast and undulating, wide open. It is scary with the buggies in Russia. That's the same for quite a few of the buggy venues. You have that with Monument Valley, is just madness. A couple of those venues. Like buggy venues are really quite quick. Like you have that with Kenya, quite undulating with the jumps as well. And it's just great fun, the buggies, all of the venues. Just the main problem with 384 is I just wish there was more. Just 6 venues. It's got into the dirt rally thing where got a good base for a full game. You just forgot half of it. It feels like with the locations, and it gets quite repetitive even say 20 to 25 episodes in. Despite what they can do with, they got the kind of half of the My Stage thing that Dirt 4 had, where they do kind of generate kind of rallies and stages. Kind of. But you don't really feel that variety. It's not as monotone as it was in Dirt 4, frankly, but again, it's just not enough. Just give us different venues. We're going to do like most of the venues. There are quite a lot in America. I wish they were a bit more global. I know they're in Bolivia, in Africa. It is actually quite a global kind of reach. But they did a superb job with that in Asia as well, in Europe. I just wish you could do more in some countries. Like in England, you can only do V-Rally course. In Romania, you can only really do V-Rally course and hill climb. I wish you could do more in those countries. Same for Bolivia, just buggying. Why can't we do V-Rally course as well? Even some rallying, because of course you can do it in Argentina and Chile in the WRC this year. That would have been fantastic to see. So yeah, locations, they get an up mark. I just wish there was a bit more you could do in some countries and just a bit more variety, a bit more countries that you could do them in. So we are now leading the championship by 3 points. Just one event, just one more event in V-Rally 4. The World Championships are on the line in South Africa as once again we're spending $145 now as we've got to fix the radiator slightly. So here we go then, 224.5 to beat over 3 laps. Well, we talked about selection of locations. What about selection of cars then? In rallying, it's superb, as you perhaps would expect. All the way from 60s to modern days. Good variety as well. With the 90s cars, you got Group B, got Group A, got modern. We're going to restart this. Let's first go. But as I was saying, yeah, rallying, superb car selection. 10 out of 10. Wish they actually had that in the WRC games as well. Actually puts the WRC games to shame. The variety, even not quite up to dirt, but He is superb. The variety. The rally cars. I wish I could say the same about all categories. Like, I wish there was just some older hill climb cars, for example, which are basically just some converted rally cars. But you had good modern selection with all the electric vehicles. And then you had the Suzuki, and that was basically it. I wish there was more choice. Like, you had the old BMW, that's about it for older cars. As you're second down. That's very wide in the first corner, that's not good. And then the same for buggying. You only had really a couple of choices. Like, you had normal buggies, and then you had the closed-top buggies, and that was it, really. Then for Extreme Carner, you had the converted rally cars. You had a couple of choices. You got this Ford GT as well, got DLC. I just wish, again, there was maybe slightly more variation in Extreme Carner. Maybe have like a buggy as it's quite nimble. Would have been pretty good at Extreme Carner car. And in V-Rally course as well, all modern cars really. I wish they were oldest, as now we lead by a second as we march towards this World Championship. So yeah, just more variety really. And in V-Rally mode, I wish I could talk about online. I tried to play it a month after. Always with these type of games, play in the first week online. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult to get some online play. And of course, there's small communities who do it, but you really have to reach out and find them. In V-Rally mode, the main mode, the mode we've been playing as we're about to win a World Championship. It's surprisingly a grind. Surprisingly frustrating and annoying at times. Not when you're winning a World Championship though. I wish there was a bigger difference between Championship and World Championship. That was basically just a Championship with the world slapped over the top of it, and with winning a gold trophy instead of a silver trophy. I wish there was a bit more difference between the World Championship and the World Championship. There's even less to do in the World Championship. There's only 4 events instead of 5. Normally they go to Niger twice. So yeah, that's a bit disappointing. Maybe the World Championship is a bit different in other categories, like in rain, have longer stages, but then we had 10-minute stages in normal championship mode. So it looks like just World Championship is just championship, but with world and gold trophies instead of being silver and just being a championship. So that's a bit disappointing. And as I said, the kind of randomness of mode is a bit disappointing. It took me ages to get championships going. And then quite a bit to get a World Championship going as well. This is episode 45. I've seen people get it in half the time. So that's a bit annoying as well, just randomness of events. But some weeks it's good variety events, some weeks it's pretty samey. So again, it can be very up and down. But overall, V-Rally mode, I think it does an alright job or a good job with what it has to work with. Just overall with V-Rally 4, just wish there was more. As we get a prize, we don't even get the prize, Sammy. Come on. As we're almost a millionaire. That just proves it with the World Championships. You don't even get a bloody thing going off at the end. As there you go. So we've got 4 World Championships to get, and then we are a championship in all categories, and we're the Grandmaster of everything. As we look at our player profile, we might as well. As there is 392 races played, and there you go. 50 in Hill Con, 76 in Buggy, 66 in Extreme Con, 67 in V-Rally Cross, 133 in Rain. As we own 26 cars, we played for just over 15 hours, raced for over 1,500 kilometers. As you see, never played online. And our favourite cars are the Honda Civic Turbo in V-Rally Cross. Then we've got the Tillman Sand Truck in Buggy, and we've got the Ford Escort RS 1600 in Ray, and that's a bit of a surprise. So yeah, that is our profile, and that is our time in V-Rally 4 over. It is, as I said, an alright game. Just wish there was more. It's got kind of the dirt rally thing where I wish there was so much more. And as I said, it feels a bit like a placeholder for WRC 8. I know Kylotonn probably couldn't have helped that. And then maybe without the WRC license, we would have had a WRC, Agent said. So VA4 is the next best thing. and it feels like it, as I said, with some cards it feels underdeveloped, some venues it feels underdeveloped, some venues okay feels very developed with the rallying, so maybe that just overall shows that it's just missing the WRC license. Because I would have loved to have seen the WRC out. I want to see what Kylotonn would have done with the WRC license. Not so much what they would have done with the V-Rally license. So that's the compromise that this game feels like. And they've done a decent job, as I said, I feel, Kylotonn. I'm excited to see what they can do next. If it's another V-Rally game, if it is Test Drive, has been rumoured. If it's like a Ridge Racer, that's also been rumoured as well. I'm not sure if that's with Big Ben, but it's with, I think it's actually I think it's with another company, actually, Ridge Racer Lines, but that's been rumoured as well. But you know, it's a good time for arcade games to come back. We've seen Flat Out come back as well. I think that's with Kylotonn as well, did Flat Out 4, so maybe we can try that out. So yeah, Kylotonn, they're establishing themselves, you know, to be an alternative to our Milestone, to our Codemasters, to all of these sim games as well, from Reza Studios, from iRacing, from Sector 397, no, Studio 397, from Sector 3 Studios, from Simbin UK. Like, you've got loads of companies now in this space producing sim, producing arcade, producing in between. Of course, with the big ones as well from Polyphony and with Turn 10 and with Playground Games as well, with Forza Horizon series. So we've got a great choice of racing games now. It's exciting. You can pick and choose now. It's an exciting time to love racing games. So I'm very excited to see what all of these studios can do, with Milestone mainly focusing on bikes, with Kylotonn focusing, it looks like, on kind of off-road, and with, you know, WRC, I'm excited to see if they go into bikes as well, as they've done that previously. So yeah, excited to see what Kylotonn can do next, and of course excited about all of the other game companies, what they do now, such as Risa with their new game, with how iRacing, with how R Factor 2 of our Race Room, with how Assetto Corsa Competizione developed. So yeah, lots to look out for in this space, and I'm not even talking about all of these kind of even lower down indie developed games as well, such as like G Rally. Unfortunately, it's not had a good start, but I'm really pulling for it. I'm hoping it can develop. And then you've got MX Bikes as well from the One Man Army. So yeah, lots of racing games to explore and have fun with. And like we did with Very Rally 4, I think the main thing is I did have fun in some categories, some others not, because of how brutal the opponents were. They didn't really notice you at times. Unfortunately, that's a problem with kind of all of these types of games. We've seen it with Milestone especially as well, with all of their games. So yeah, just need to improve the opponents just to make them aware of you. Of course, sim games are actually quite good at that as well, of making opponents actually race you and actually make you feel included in their race. Don't have that from, as I said, Milestone, from Kylotonn, even from Forza, from Gran Turismo as well. But yeah, lots of improvement to go single player. Hopefully I can try it online one day. And hope you enjoyed Free Rally 4. I think I did in the end, but as I said, it's an alright game. But I'll be back next time with some other games, mostly bike games. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you then. Now I'm okay, thanks.